Welcome everyone. It's the first of our new series called The Word War. Never before on Indian television have these two men shared the screen. It's Bhajji versus Simo. It's exclusive and live on Headlines today. Two of the fiercest cricketers to ever play the game. And today, sparks will fly when these two collide. The question we are posing to them is, can India break the World Cup jinx against South Africa in the World Cup? Let's begin. So right here in our studio, Harbhajan Singh, the 2011 World Cup winner, and Andrew Symonds, former Australian cricketer, two-time World Cup winning player. Let me begin with Bhajji first up. Bhajji, what do you think? At the very offset, do you think India can break that jinx? They've lost all three of their World Cup encounters against South Africa.
Well, that's all past. I definitely feel that this is the time for Indian team to change that, whole thing. Whatever is done, that's gone. We need to just look forward what is going to come, and I'm sure we have the team, we have the players which can beat the South African team.
Andrew, do you see that happening with the firepower that the South Africans have in their lineup? Do the Indians stand any chance?
Yeah, I think the Indian batting may struggle, a little with the South African quicks. Morkel, Steyn, Philander, all awkward customers. That's the way I'm thinking, and South Africa seem to have had it over India, obviously in the past three occasions, in a World Cup format.
Right, Bhajji?
Well, I really don't agree with this because I know whatever has happened is gone. And, Morne Morkel and Dale Steyn, they have played a lot of cricket in India, IPL and they've gone for plenty of runs against our batsmen. So I don't really agree with Andrew what he's saying here. They have got the records in their favor and so, but it's end of the day. All I want to say that it's going to be a fresh game, and I'm sure we'll do well. Our batters are better than any of the other batsmen who could handle Dale Steyn, and they should be actually worried.
Yeah, they should be worried. Andrew?
Well, I just don't know if India's got the firepower with the ball in response to the South African batting lineup. It is full of match winners. I just think they're going to be too overpowering. They're too powerful in both parts of the game, and obviously, and also think the South African fielding is more dynamic than the Indians.
Bhajji, let me pose this question to you. India, the side that played in 2011, the side that you were part of and won the World Cup at home, is considered the best side that India has had going into the World Cup. Even that side lost to South Africa. So can this one do it?
Yeah, why not? Before this 2011 World Cup, a lot of people said that none of the hosting nation have won the World Cup, but we were the one who actually won the World Cup, playing in India and playing in our own condition. We were the host, and we changed the whole thing. If we could do that, why can't we do this? And I'm sure there's always a time to change things, and probably this is the time.
It's also going to be a battle between Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, perhaps two of the most fearsome batsmen in the world right now. The battle between them is also quite interesting. Andrew, AB de Villiers has more backing as perhaps the more destructive batsman in one-day cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. At this particular point, Virat's still younger, making his way very quickly in the game, though. De Villiers is obviously, I think he's the best batsman in the world. He's three-dimensional. He can bat, he fields beautifully, and then, if necessary, he can wicket keep as well. So, rightfully so, he has got that #1 spot.
#1 spot for...
Well, I mean, for me, Virat Kohli is #1 batsman in the world because his record speaks for himself. He have got 2,200 in just last 3-4 years. He have got all those records which were there, from all the greats, and he just passed those all records. And I feel Virat Kohli is far better player than any other one, who's going to be playing in this game. Of course, I agree with Andrew here with AB de Villiers, class player, top quality, and
but not better than Virat, you think?
I feel Virat is a more dangerous player.
Virat is the most dangerous player for Bhajji, but for Andrew, it's AB de Villiers is a more all-round player. Let me put this in perspective. Hardly anything to separate these two. Virat is younger, has played 30-odd one-day internationals less than AB de Villiers, but both have an average around 52 in one-day internationals. But here's what's going to make Andrew very happy. In the last 12 months, AB de Villiers has an average of 70-odd, while Virat has 50.
How many?
20-odd matches for AB de Villiers, 13 for Virat.
What about the hundreds?
Okay, we'll check the hundreds as well. But the
yes.
72 is a very high average for AB de Villiers.
Yeah, that is. There's no doubt about it. You know, AB de Villiers is a class player. But for me, you know, I mean, Virat Kohli is still the #1 player in the world. You know, Andrew might not agree with me, but this is my opinion.
Yeah. All right, 300s for AB, 4 for Virat. But remember, he also smashed the fastest ODI century, AB de Villiers, just recently.
Yeah, I think for me, statistics and all that, you can analyse, overanalyse things. But for me, in a big game, AB de Villiers, I think will have more success than Virat Kohli at this point in his career.
Why is that?
Oh, he's just an older head and a wiser head, and his innings is constructed, you know, in an excellent fashion. I think Virat sometimes can be a bit volatile. I think the South Africans may attack him verbally as well. And hopefully, well,
we've seen that during the Australian series.
Yeah, he'll need to keep his cool. So that may be one way that the South Africans choose to attack him, especially early in his innings.
Well, I think he gets really charged up when people actually say things to him. He's one of those guys, you know, he's one of those characters. If people say things to him on field, that brings the best out of him. And I hope, you know, somebody should start from South African lineup to say something to Virat Kohli, and he'll go on to get another 100 for India.
So you're saying it's actually a good thing if someone tries to get under his skin?
Well, he is that kind of a character. You know, he likes to fight. He likes to, as he said, you know, he's aggressive, and you know, I'm sure he would like that. You know, some kind of small little noise out there.
Small little noises is what the Aussies know very well, isn't it, Andrew? You know how to play mind games.
I don't know. You must have had some sort of stump microphone here when we were playing against each other. But there's always there will be niggle. You know, boys will be boys, and that's part of the game. You know, people will chip at each other, but that's part of the fascination of what this contest, South Africa and India, will be. Is how each team's going to attack each other and how they're going to attack, you know, key individuals.
But let's talk about the overall balance of these teams. Andrew, do you think South Africa is more balanced overall? You mentioned their bowling lineup as well. Perhaps the might that India doesn't have. And also in support of AB de Villiers, they have Hashim Amla. They have Rilee Rossouw, who smashed, you know, multiple centuries in the run-up to the World Cup. They have Killer Miller as well. Yeah,
they've probably got, you know, 4, possibly 5 game breakers with the bat. India, probably to a lesser extent, but still a very strong batting lineup. I think the batting lineups is not as big a difference. But when it comes to the bowling, I think South Africa got that extra strike bowl, extra quick. But on India's behalf, they've got their off-spinner back. Ashwin's back from injury. So he bowls very well in the middle overs, slows things down and can take wickets. So that may bring things back to more level.
Or will the spin actually turn this in India's favour, because their spin attack is not at the same level as India, Bhajji? Well,
obviously it's good to have good spinners in your team, and of course Ashwin and Jadeja, they bowl well in tandem, and as Andrew said, you know, this is an edge for Indian team, you know, going into this game, because the South African spinner, if you see, Tahir is he's a very good spinner, but you know, if you go after him, he actually don't like that. So I would actually like to see Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan,
Suresh
Raina taking him on and looking to score few runs against Tahir.
But Bhajji, will you concede the Indian team is not as balanced as the South African team?
No, I think we have got a very good team. If you say our batting lineup, you know, is probably one of the best batting lineup. And bowling wise, yes, I agree with him. You know, we don't have the experience in our bowling lineup like Dale Steyn have, like Moni Morkel have, or Philander. You know, we have our guys who are young, who are just playing their first World Cup, and also not played too many one-dayers, and their first time playing in Australia. So of course I agree with Andrew on that part. You know, the South African bowling lineup have the edge over Indian bowling lineup. But I'm sure with last game's performance, I'm sure people will, get some sort of confidence and go with that confidence into this game, and hopefully they'll do well.
Andrew, the one big problem for South Africa can always be their underperformance at the big stage. I know that they get to the knockouts and then that becomes a problem, the chokers tag. But do you think this team has it in them to get over that, or do you think India can exploit that still?
I think it probably works for both camps, as you say. It has a reverse effect. South Africa have got an opportunity in this World Cup to banish that by winning this World Cup, and they have the staff, they have the men to do it. As India, this is a big game for India. If they need to beat South Africa in a World Cup, that'll give them a huge amount of confidence. They haven't done that before. So they knock them off, and then they move into the competition, the real stage of the competition, with that confidence that they've beaten, possibly the best side on paper. It's up to your opinion, but so both sides have got to play this game smart. But both sides, the winner of this game, will take quite a great deal out of this win, I'd say.
In your experience, Bhajji, when you played South Africa, like in the last World Cup, what was the strategy that you think Indian team will go with?
Well, last time we played against them, we scored a lot of runs, but they ended up chasing those runs
exactly.
in Nagpur. But I was the one who took 3 wickets in that game. But I think they have the team. Of course, I'm not saying that they don't have the batting line. They definitely have the batting lineup. They can chase 300 runs and they can put 300 runs while batting first, So, I mean, all we need to do is just play positive with the positive intent like we did against Pakistan. It was great to see the team was there with that intent that we are there to win, and everybody was just looking sharp on the field, blocking those singles and diving around and running around. It was great to see that energy, back in the team, which was missing in the one-day series against Australia and England. So if we'll go with that intent, with that energy, I'm sure we'll do well against South Africa.
One thing that South Africa doesn't have, Andrew, is MS Dhoni. That icy cool captain on the field, one of the best finishers in the world. AB de Villiers is youngish as far as captaincy is concerned. So that gives Bhajji more points, isn't it, as far as backing India is concerned in this contest?
Yeah, possibly. But I think his skill probably douses that flame out a little bit. Being as skillful as he is, I think that negates it a bit. But his decision-making will probably be important at some point in this competition. It may win or lose them a game. You don't know, but I see him talking with Gary Kirsten there quite a bit on the television there. So they're obviously nutting things out and making sure they've got all bases covered and not going to leave anything to chance.
So percentages, guys, India, what? 60-40 or 50-50, Bhajji? Be realistic here. No, I know you're backing India, but be realistic.
No, honestly, I think if we'll play well, 65 India, 35 South Africa. I'm being very, very honest here.
You being honest here. Andrew?
65-35. That's fair enough. I think South Africa will win by 35 runs.
All right. That's a good margin to play for. Indian fans, of course, will be hoping it will be 4th time lucky for India. 3 World Cup matches they've lost against the same Proteas. This time also it looks like a very, very big contest, a big real test coming up for the men in blue.